My next question is, what is the greatest mistake any character committed in this episode? In your opinion, what is the
Wow.
greatest mistake? Solar laughed. Solar goes first.
It's obvious. The greatest mistake any character did in this was I'm announcing that I am to be wed to her. That was the greatest mistake in this episode. I saw. I don't know if you guys watch Atlanta, but there was one episode where someone finds out something that they didn't want to find out, and they go and talk to a bunch of different people about the situation until they got the answer that they wanted. And that's what I saw Viserys doing this episode, where it was like when everybody was like, "No, honestly, Lady Lena is the good match. Yeah, that's a good call. It gets you the ships. It does everything that they said it would do. It's a good match. But she's 12. Yeah, for now, she won't be forever. And again, that whole stepping up from a 12-year-old to a 15-year-old. Yeah, that's a jump. So I'm just like, you know, um, I'm just like going, I know what's going to happen. I've read the stories, I know the lore. And the biggest mistake is the one that makes me get up and look at the TV going, "No, you idiot." And that was it. I don't think there was a bigger mistake made in the entire show. I mean, you even had Lionel Strong going, "Nah, you should go for the 12-year-old." The dude who never talks is and I've never found myself agreeing with the Grand Maester about anything at any time except for when it was Sam. So I'm just kind of going, yeah, everybody told you turn left and you turn right because I'm very lucky that Patty Considine is such a charismatic actor because it's really easy to go, "Oh man, you are King Stupid of Bleedy Hands," because you just, oh man. But you know what? I like you, and I like that I could hang out with you. That kind of thing. So yeah, that's why I laughed. It's like the biggest mistake. That one, the one that ended the episode. You know. But yeah, so I'm passing this to somebody else.
Go ahead, Constance.
Yeah, I laughed second. So
Uh-huh.
it's hard to disagree with Solar. It's nearly impossible to disagree. I mean, that everyone laid out the reasonable argument, but then Otto, being Otto, fuck that guy Tower, had to go and throw in the little line about, "Oh, I miss my wife. It would be such a shame if I had to marry for duty." Oh, I mean, he's
All
such
that
a
guy needs is a parrot voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. That's all he's missing.
it's so obvious from our perspective that what he's doing, but he's telling Viserys exactly what he wants to hear, right? He's justifying Viserys marrying his 15-year-old girlfriend. His daughter's literal best friend and bosom buddy companion, pillow friend or whatever you want to call them. Uh,
Possibly even girlfriend, and that's
yeah,
cool too.
yeah,
I was
it's
dating a
yeah,
chick and then my dad took her. Like, what the hell?
it's Jerry Springer all over again. But yeah, it's hard to argue that that was the worst decision because he's alienating Corlys, he's alienating his daughter, and both of them are very important people, and he's doing what he feels is right, even though everybody told him it's the wrong choice. So, Uzma, you laughed. Your turn.
Wait. I want to say something. God damn it, Rob Stark, stop marrying for love.
Right?
Seriously.
You can throw Tyrion Lannister in there too.
We've seen this wedding. We don't need it again.
All right, go ahead, Booza. My bad.
What's funny is in the intro for the preview for the next episode, Viserys was lecturing Rhaenyra for duty and responsibility. And I noticed that Otto and Alicent love to use the death of their mother and wife to get their hooks into House Targaryen for power. Anyway, if it wasn't limited to this episode, I would have said the Lords of the Great Council voting for Viserys. But since it's limited to this episode, I would say I don't know. Yes, that was a great mistake, but I think the most I would say the biggest mistake was Viserys trusting Otto. So if
Fair.
he doesn't stop Otto from it feels like Otto can do anything and he can just get away with it. Uh, and that's the same thing he does with Damon. He doesn't take action. He doesn't people know that there will be no consequences for their actions. They can do whatever they want, and that's what Otto does. Just like when he told Viserys, "I will not allow it," and he said, Viserys knows that if Otto went there, there will be bloodshed. When Rhaenyra said that, he agreed with it, which means he knew that there will be bloodshed, and still he sent Otto. Like he literally could have sent anyone, maybe the Maester or anyone, to retrieve the egg, and it would have settled peacefully. He knew that Otto and Daemon doesn't get along, and he still sent Otto. Why? Because Otto said, "I'll go." And
Yeah, I
Viserys
mean,
was like, "Yes, sir."
yeah, I mean, seriously, that was the perfect chance to send Lionel Strong, the master of laws. It's like, look at all these laws that are broken. I need my sheriff out there to go take care of it. No, sir, I'll do it as your vice president. And I'm like, oh God, I hate you. I hate everything about. Again, I see Allison sitting in her house. Excellent work, Allison. Oh God, you know. By the way, thank you,
Exactly.
Morgan. I'll never be able to watch Aladdin and enjoy it ever again.
You're welcome. Sam, go ahead.
I think the worst mistake Viserys probably made this episode was not taking Corlys' advice on the crab feeder more seriously. I think that if he would have maybe just been like, yeah, we'll send some ships down there and handle that problem, then maybe Corlys would have been less inclined to like put forth another like a marriage so quickly. Like I think the marriage thing was always going to be something for the king down the road, but maybe it wouldn't have, the fast forward button wouldn't have been hit so like at that moment, you know, if, like Corlys might have been like, cool, let's get some ships, let's move on down, and it probably would have been, he would have been gone for however long it would have taken to handle the stepstones. It would have left Otto, but I don't even think marriage was on Sir Otto's radar so fast. Just like it was obviously on his mind because he sent Alicent to Viserys, but I don't think he would have been as on it unless he would have unless Corlys was like, "Hey, marry Lena," and then Otto was like, "Oh shit, I need to get moving." So I feel like if he would have just handled the stepstones better, it would have like domino effect handled everything else better. But it's easy to say that in hindsight. So yeah.
No, I agree. I'm going to jump in because that's my answer too. So I think the greatest mistake was Viserys choosing inaction when action was called for. Now, yes, he chose a wife. Maybe not the right wife, but I can understand marrying for love even when you're being completely manipulated and controlled by Jafar. I mean, Hightower. But that aside, he just keeps dithering. He keeps ignoring anything. He's like, oh, something bad's happening? Huh. And if I don't do anything about it, everybody's gonna, like, do their own thing, and I don't have to worry about it, and I still get to sit on the throne? Cool.
It's kind of like a niece. It's like his grandfather or grandfather Anis
Yeah.
Targaryen, who made absolutely no decisions, and the country nearly went to war with itself.
Right.
And their excuse was that they were saving the lives of people. But what about the sailors, those who were innocent? We saw them getting eaten by the crabs.
Right, and I am no warmonger, as I've made it very clear in previous episodes. However, when there are conflicts arising, sitting around and making no decisions at all is not the answer. You have to at least do something The choice to
You
do
can
nothing
sail
is not
into
really
it.
a choice.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
sail into it, you can sail around it, but you don't want to wait for it to hit you.
Yep.
I will say the second worst decision I can see in this episode was Alicent not being straight with her best friend.
Yeah.
Sure.
'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
and I
mean,
still say,
Viserys asked her not to.
Hmm?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Viserys did ask her not to, but that means she chose. Like, I get that Viserys is the king, right? But Alicent chose Viserys over the girl who she was closest to in the world, right? Yes, he's the king, and her father told her to boink him, and she was like, okay, yes, daddy, and things got creepy from there. But she still chose to ignore the respect that she had for her best friend to the point where her best friend, possibly crush, possibly lover, possibly who knows, hashtag Rhaenyra and Alicent forever. But
would that be Ray Alicent?
yes, Raylicent.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, hashtag Ray Alicent. Yeah.
Yes, hashtag Raylicent because I love me some lesbian shipping. But yes, she broke her heart. Either as a friend or a lover or whatever, she broke her heart just by not being open and communicating. He asked her not to tell her about their talks, what they were specifically talking about. She could have at least said something.
Said
Just
that they
saying.
were talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
and who
I
knew
think
that
she was
unpainted
scared. Sorry, go ahead.
who knew that unpainted miniature figurines could be the way to a man's heart? Yeah, I figured. Yeah,
that'd be me.
yeah.
You know.
That's most of our audience. I'd
Yeah,
assume.
I know many of those
Yeah,
men.
fuck
Uzma?
me up with some little miniatures. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how much an Imperial Knight costs?
Oh yeah. I know. Custom made figurines are not cheap.
You know. That made me
But-
want to go to Washington with a 3D printer. Oh, I brought you something, Lord.
Wow.
Now, Uzma, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, in Alicent's case, I think she was scared that how Rhaenyra will react to it, and if she went to Viserys, he will find out that Alicent, despite him telling her not to tell, and she did, and he will push her away, and that would make Otto mad, and maybe that's why she was scared, and that's why she didn't do it.
Yeah, but neither
Still,
one of
she
them
was
were
wrong.
Yeah, well, neither one of them were Maegor the Cruel or Joffrey the Jackass. Since everybody else is walking all over the king, she could too.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the king likes to be walked on. Just saying.